Hey, it's me, Joey from Mantic Button Gaming, out here today, not in the suit. Also, sorry for the last video. My phone started dying while I was recording this, and that's about what I got right now. So, today, I want to talk about something near and dear to me as an Ultramarine player. Bolt guns, bolters, bolt rifles, heavy bolters, combi guns, right? Like the basic armaments and like the kind of cool guy bolt guns of like your fancy Space Marine Storm bolters too. I guess we'll talk about all of those. And man, they suck. Like they really suck. Like they're just strength for las guns. And I guess we'll talk about like why kind of basic Space Marine infantry also just sucks, and that sucks, right? So we'll quickly hit on Space Marine infantry because we're talking about like every single bolt gun is going to be wild because man, there's a lot of them. For some reason, there's a lot of them. But okay, like basic Space Marine, you're like, oh, the basic Space Marine doesn't suck. He's like T4, saves on 3s. Okay, that's half decent. 2 wounds, right? Everybody makes a really big deal for the 2 wounds. We'll get into why 2 wounds doesn't matter. And they cost a lot of points. And they come with bolt guns, and it's like, oh god, like, you had something half decent here, and then it's like bolt guns, and they cost like a decent amount of points. So we'll get into why 2 wounds really. So like T4's half decent right point. It's not T5, but like T4 is still like good enough where like most weapons are typically wounding on like 4s or 3s, and then if you want to bring something like a little bit heavier, like heavy bolter or like plasma guns, kind of just rip through Space Marines, but that's what they're meant to do. And then save on 3's nice until any kind of like dedicated like either a dedicated I kill elite gun, which because they aren't elite, they're like medium infantry, right? If Guard are light infantry, then Space Marines are medium infantry, and then Gravis Space Marines and Terminators are your heavy infantry, right? At least that's how I view it. Fly on me. The problem with that is like if you aim like a Reaper autocannon, like a unit of Space Marines, or like a Punisher cannon, or anything that's like I kill like hordes of infantry, they gotta make like because like number one, all those weapons are strength 6, so they're still wounding Space Marines on like 3s. I mean, hell, they're even wounded Terminators on 3s, right? But like Terminators have like a 2-up save, and that's the thing. Is like how many 3s can you roll, right? And Space Marines have the problem. It's like once you start losing Space Marines, you start losing the capacity to inflict damage fast, right? Whereas like if you lose like 7 guardsmen, like who cares? You got like 13 more guardsmen, right? But like if you lose like 2 Space Marines, it's like, oh, my squad went from 10 shots to 6 shots on bolt guns. Oh, that sucks, right? And then most of your combat proficiency actually come from melee because like that's like kind of what kills people because bolt guns aren't very good. So that's kind of like man, how many 3-ups can you make? Because you got to make a lot, right? Because you're hitting and wounding pretty good with Reaper autocannon, or like any of like the I blitz Space Marines or infantry with sustained hits too. Just and it's like a lawnmower, just mows right through. So like if you could roll a lot of 3s, great. Statistically, you fail 1 in every 3, and if you got like 15 saves coming at you, that's it's like 1 in every 3. That's like 5 wounds. That's like 2.5 dead Space Marines. And as we mentioned, Space Marines don't like, and then of course there's like other weapons, like they'll have like 2 heavy bolters on it for some reason. It's like, how much anti-infantry killing firepower does this tank need? It's like, it's the anti-infantry tank. It has all the guns. Or like the Repulsor Execution, which also has all the guns, but I love the Repulsor, but man, does it whiff a lot. So yeah, that's one way to really melt Space Marines, is just point a lot of guns at them. Like everybody's gangsta until like a 20-man squad of like infantry shows up. Like, I'm Acadian, and you order them rapid fire, and they get in 12-inch range, and all of a sudden each guy gets like 3 shots, and there's like 4 dudes with plasma guns in that squad, and Space Marines just die. Like they can't handle getting shot by that. Thankfully, they got buffed, which we'll get into, like how crap bolt weapons are. They had to literally double the amount of shots intercessors had, so they'd be half decent. Because statistically, they weren't winning even against like a 10-man guard squad. That's how bad bolt guns were. Yeah, we'll break down that later. But yeah, and then the second one is like they got 2 wounds though, right? So The problem with that is, like, bro, everybody has 2 wound weapons now. It's like Space Marines got 2 wounds, and they're like, oh no, we need to balance it out, and everybody started getting 2 wound weapons, like damage 2, and it was like, oh man, my Space Marine's got 2 wounds, so he went up in points, and no, he still dies in 1 shot, right? Whereas if you have like 10 Orc Boys, right? Not to like be like compare them to the best infantry unit in the game, but you got 10 Orc Boys, right? And you could shoot like an Orc Boy with a las cannon. You're only killing the one, right? Because there's no bleed over, which makes sense, because you don't want a las gun to be able to do the job of a heavy bolter. Nobody's taking it anyways, but like nobody's really not taking it anyways. So you got like a las cannon, and you just delete 1 Orc Boy, right? You still got like 9 Orc Boys, whereas like you delete a Space Marine, you're down to 4 Space Marines. That's mathematically not great. And by mathematically, I mean like having played a lot of games this edition, losing 1 Space Marine kind of sucks. Whereas like losing 1 boy is just like, my boy died. Like, who cares, right? But like losing a single Space Marine, it's like, ooh, I lost 4 attacks on the charge, you know. So like that's the other thing is like, boys, even though the charge get like 3 attacks, man, they're so good. So Space Marines, once they start losing numbers, right, and everybody got damage 2 now, so all of a sudden like a 10-man Cadian squad, even though they're like only T3, tend to be more durable because like everybody's bringing all the big heavy stuff, right? Everybody's bringing the big tanks and the heavy elite infantry and the big anti-elite infantry guns, right? So like you're pasting a Space Marine with a plasma gun that's like, or like a plasma cannon, does like 3 damage, strength 9, just rips the Space Marine right in half. But then like you try doing that to like a squad of guardsmen, all of a sudden it's like there's still like a couple guardsmen left because you can't physically shoot enough shots to kill through them with that type of weaponry. So in a weird way, guardsmen actually have become better than Space Marines. The second one is doing the math, and I did the math a lot because I'm getting into guard and I wanted to know the math. Like the basic Cadian squad gets like 2 plasma guns, or it's like 1 plasma, 1 melta, or that might be the Kriegers. I can't quite remember right now, but we'll say they get 2 plasma guns and the rest las rifles, right? And they're going up against the basic intercessors before they got the 20 shots. And let's say they only got the 10 shots like they used to, because bolt guns were really bad. And we'll be fair, we'll give the Space Marines the first shots too. So you look at like the Space Marine profile, they hit on 3s, they got strength 4 weapons, and guards are weak, they're only like T3. So you're wounded on 3s as well. So you're already like, man, that's really good, right? And then you realize that you miss like 1/3 of your shots, and then you don't wound with 1/3 of your shots, and then guardsmen save on 5s. And cover's like pretty much free this edition. So we'll assume the guardsmen players playing half decent, they managed to make like at least 1/3 of their saves. So you're losing 1/3 of your shots, you're losing 1/3 of your wounds, and then you're losing 1/3 of your actual damage going through. And all of a sudden, like, you know, like you have 10 shots, you only get 7 shots. Out of those 7 shots, you only actually make through with like, we'll be generous and we'll say 4, right? And then of those 4 shots, only 3 of those are going through, right? So you actually kill 3 guardsmen, right? With your 10 shots. Oh man, so that's not fantastic, right? Then the guard get the shoot, and they aren't killing the plasma guns, right? So they roll for the plasma guns. We'll assume the guard move up into rapid fire range, which is typically like the guard tactic. They'll stay out of range, they'll get shot to bits, they'll move up, and then they'll dump all their good weapons into you. So we'll say they open up the plasma guns first. They get 4 shots because they got 2 plasma guns. They whiff 2 of those, so they hit on 4s, right? So now they got 2 plasma shots going through. They overcharge because like their guardsmen, why wouldn't they? Who cares if they die? Then you're shooting that Space Marines, you're wounding on 2s. Realistically, you get both of those through. Sometimes you only get the 1, but like realistically, you get both of those through. And then your Space Marines saving on 6s. Let's be real, typically you don't save 6s. It's just like occasionally you will, or like you'll save both, and like that's awesome. But statistically, both of those Space Marines are dead, right? So before the las guns have even opened up, you've already lost 2 Space Marines. So you're down to like 6 shots now, you know. And as we said, like 10 shots go into like 3 kills. You know, 6 shots are going to only go into like 1 or 2 kills. It's not fantastic for the Space Marines there. So then we get into the las gun fire, and you're thinking, oh, who cares? It's las guns, right? And you would be correct if For the longest time, they didn't have like the natural born soldier rule or whatever, or like detachment it was. Like the very first detachment they had gave if infantry shoots infantry, they get lethal hits, and then all of a sudden you can stack a lot of lethal hits, right? So they fire, they have 14 shots because they're from rapid fire, or they've had 7, so they'd have 10 shots because there's only you pasted 3, right, and you fired your 2, and you technically have like an auto gun which always gets 2 shots, but you got 10 shots with the las guns. You fire off the las guns, half go through, so 5 of those you either get 1 or 2 as lethal hits. We'll say you only get the 1, right, to make the math a little bit fairer. Then you go to wound, so you're only getting like really 2 of those left, so you got 3 saves, right? And then your Space Marine takes like another wound, and now you're down to 2.5 wounds. Or if you really choke, you then lose another Space Marine, like because we've all played it, we've all seen it. The Space Marine goes to roll his 3-ups, and he rolls like 2 1s, and it's like, oh crap, right? And when that happens, that Space Marine squad's toast. Like the sergeant can't carry it on his own. He's got the power fist, but at most, like he only kills like 4 guard, right? Or 3 guard. He only got the 3 attacks on it. That's where the power sword comes in, but nobody runs that but me. So now they have 4 shots, and as we said, you're only getting like 1 of those through now. So, oh no, right? So then they buffed it, and now like all of a sudden that squad's still putting out 8 shots, and as we said, that kills roughly 3 guard. They're still in the fight. They get into the charge, so that's why they had to get the whole like if you double down, you get 20 shots instead of 10, right? And all of a sudden that Space Marine unit inflicts more damage because all of a sudden they go from killing 3 guardsmen to 6 guardsmen, and now it's just down to the plasma gun. And yeah, the plasma guns pop like the 2 Space Marines, but that squad can still fight. Like at 3 guys, that squad can still fight. But they had to get Stormbolter levels of shots to be able to do that, and that's just pathetic, right? So previous editions, AP used to work differently. Well, technically it worked how it did in 2nd edition, and it works now how it did in 2nd edition, but 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th had AP be, if the AP is the same as your save, you just die, right? So AP 5 would just kill a 5-up save model, right? So that's where, like, Orc Boys being, like, they're like toughness 5, it's wild, they're fantastic. But they want to get a save, they just explode, and that's good, because, like, your basic infantry is getting shot by, like, a rocket-propelled bullet, which is, yeah, bolt guns are weird, but yeah, you're technically getting shot by like a rocket-propelled bullet that hits you and then explodes. Your 5-up save model should just die. You know, and they don't. So you get really weird things where it's like, oh, I made a 5-up, and it's like, right? Because like that also would change the map. All of a sudden you wouldn't be killing like 3 guardsmen, you'd be killing 4 guardsmen with those 10 shots, and that does help. And then Space Marines wouldn't even have to worry about like most AP weaponry because like most of the stuff wouldn't be AP 3. But now everything has -1 AP, and a lot of Space Marines are getting hit by like AP -1, AP -2, going up to 4 or 5 saves, and then they're just no better than a guardsman because everybody's bringing the elite stuff. And then bolt guns themselves, like combi guns, just suck. You have -1 to hit, which sucks. You get I talked about this in my big video. -1 to hit. You have anti-infantry 4-up with devastating wounds, meaning that if you roll a 4, you will kill, or deal a mortal wound, right? The problem with that is most elite models are 3 wounds, so you need to stack a lot of wounds, and so in 1 round of shooting, let's say you have, let's say you're within rapid fire range, and you have 5 dudes, like 5 Stern Guard vets or whatever, and you fire into a squad of Terminators. At most statistically, you can do is like 10 wounds. Which won't be enough to kill that squad of Terminators. And Terminators are way better at killing infantry with those power fists, and you just brought yourself into rapid fire range. So unless you can beat them to death in melee with AP 0 weaponry, like you aren't gonna, that's not a good matchup to be in. Whereas statistically with the bolt gun, I think the Stern Guard bolt gun, you can deal like 15 mortal wounds. And if you get all those through, right, which like you probably won't, but like if you do, like statistically, it's a higher chance of like killing through them. But also, nobody like really brings Terminators because once again, everybody has like damage 2, damage 3 weaponry, and if they're just gonna lose a Terminator in a single shot, like why bring it? It seems to be the mentality at the moment. So there's a lot of lists that do bring Terminators, but all of a sudden, like just having the more shots is just better, and also that also relies on your opponent. Like you're bringing your list and you're expecting your opponent to bring big, heavy, chunky elite infantry, because all of a sudden that combi gun goes into like a Goober Termagant. And I said this in the last video, you roll like a 3 to wound it, and it's like, oh, well, I don't even get the dev wound, and then it rolls a 5 up, and you're like, well, cool. Whereas like the Sternguard bolt gun, at least, or technically it'd be like it'd get a 4-up save if it had cover, because you aren't negatively affecting its cover save, which also would affect. That's where the AP comes in with the Sternguard bolt rifle and like the regular bolt rifle, because if not, like guardsman saving on 4s, it turned to actually like stupid durable. Like not like crazy durable, but like stupid of like, wait, they get 4-ups, I'm shooting them with bolt guns, and it's like, you know, and the bolt guns just, like, we're talking about the bolt guns with the AP, like an infiltrator squad firing into Cadians. It's just like, oh no, we aren't killing any of them. They're there to infiltrate up the border, deny deep strike. They aren't there to kill, but like that's kind of the problem of like the bolt gun is such a wet noodle. It's literally slightly better than a las gun by 1. And that sucks. That hurts the fantasy of, oh, I have my Space Marines. And, like, you're never going to get, like, the, you know, Space Marine 2, I'm just mowing my way through gaunts, right? Because, like, that'd be stupid. But you kind of do lose the fantasy of, like, I'm shooting a guardsman, and then your guardsman squad just shoots your Space Marine squad, and it's like, how the hell did that happen? Also, somebody will be like, oh, you didn't calculate the grenade launcher into the map. I've never seen that thing, like, actually kill anybody ever. Like, I'm going to roll number of shots, 1. I'm going to roll the hit, 1. Oh, cool, and then grenade launcher, yay! Or you need to assault your unit up the board and you don't get to use the grenade launcher. Or you go to crack and you, like, roll a 2 and you're like, I've had, like, a lucky crack blow up a vehicle once. That was fun. But it's also, like, D3 damage. The grenade launcher's, something. The grenade launcher's fun. But, like, yeah, the grenade launcher doesn't really help with the map. It's the extra shots, you know, and the fact that, like, your basic Space Marine unit sucked so hard, everybody could outshoot it, everybody could outfight it, and they had to go, it literally gets double the amount of shots. If you did that to literally any other unit in the game, you just go, that gets twice the amount of shots, people would freak out, and they'd start taking that unit immediately. They'd be like, man, I'm gonna just hop on boys with 2 extra shots, or like I guess it'd be like twice the amount of melee attacks or whatever. Like boys with 6 melee attacks would be insane, right? Or Tau, what's a good Tau shooting unit? The Fire Warriors actually shoot pretty hard. Like, yeah, imagine if Fire Warriors got twice the amount of shots. People be like, bro, I'm spamming Fire Warriors. Or like Tau Crisis Battlesuits got like twice the amount of shots, or Eldar or whatever got like twice the amount of shots. You know, like the good shooting unit, right? I'm trying to think of good shooting units. Oh man, if my Khorne Bloodletters got twice the amount of shots, it'd still be 0. But you know, like if Khorne Bloodletters got 4 attacks in melee, you know what I mean? To buff them, people would be spamming Bloodletters, right? And Intercessors got literally twice the amount of shot, and like at most you might see like 1 unit in the list. Like your main, like these are the guys that Games Workshop wants you to buy, and dear God, I bought a lot. I love that kit. I love kit bashing that kit. I'm turning that kit into Sternguard vets off the Sternguards for right now. You know, I use that. I built lieutenants. I built captains. I built all sorts of fun stuff out of those models, right? Because they're fantastic models. I built an unhealthy amount of intercessory units. So I like my dudes with bolt guns, and at most, I think one dude tried the, and I brought it to a game, it was actually kind of fun. It was like 10 intercessors, because they get 40 shots with the lieutenant, and that's fun, but it's still not fantastic. I think technically it maps out better than the Hellblasters did, which is kind of funny, but also at the same time, nobody's running that unit, because bolt guns are just god-awful, so having like a special rule for the bolt gun, it's like, if the unit model saves on 5, it just dies, and that has like the bolt gun, or the bolt keyword, and it's like, if you get shot by the bolt keyword, and you have a 5-up save, you're dead. Or they could even push it to like 4-up save, because like, who the hell even has 4-up saves? Tau at 4-up saves, yeah, they can die in 1 shot, who cares? Tau, Orcs got a 5-up, except for Knobs who have the 4-up, but like a Knob dying in 1 hit wouldn't be the worst to bolt gun. And actually, that would actually kind of suck, but they got 2 wounds, and bolt guns might get 1 wound, so. And maybe not the 4s, but like having a special rule, just like bolt, if the 5-up model gets hit by this, it just dies, would make those a lot better. Also, if people actually had to take infantry, because, like, once again, we're in the edition of Oops All Tanks, and then all of a sudden Oops All Tanks rolls up the board, and with 10 shots from a bolt gun, you're dealing, like, maybe 1 wound. Or, let's do the math on that. You hit on 3s, so you get 7 attacks in. And then statistically you get 1 or 2. We'll go with the 2, because that seems more fun. So you get 2 attacks go through, right? Because you're wounding on 6s, and so you have 7 attacks. And we'll say number 6 hits, and we'll say number 7 hits as well, because you're a cool Space Marine and you're the hero of the chapter. So you get the 2 attacks to go through, and then the Land Raider that you're shooting into, or the Dune Crawler, or the Orc Truck, or whatever. Most of that stuff saves on 2s. I think the truck saves on 3s, but like there's like I think the battle wagon saves on 2s. We'll say we'll give them benefit of the doubt. You're saving on 3s, awesome. Which means you fail 1, cool, and you pass 1, awesome. You dealt 1 wound to that tank with like 13 wounds. You know, like, oh boy, my infantry was toast next turn, because like it's dead. It's like once again, it's like the whole what do Space Marines serve a purpose in the board game? They go onto an objective, they stand on it, then they die. And they had sticky objectives too, and people still weren't taking them because that's how little they could kill stuff. And now that they can kind of like skirmish a bit, people are like, okay, the sticky objectives, and they can run off and skirmish with a guard unit or like some termagants, or they can actually kill boys now. They had a really bad matchup in the boys, because all of a sudden you go from like 1/3 of your shots hitting 7 shots to all of a sudden like you only hitting on 5, so you go from like 2/3 of your shots to like only 1/3 of your shots again. Ooh, or no, 1/3 of your shots missing. It's like 2/3 of your shots missing. So it's like all of a sudden you go from like 7 shots to like 3 shots, and then your boys have a 5-up save, so you kill 2 boys. And then like, bro, 8 boys will mess up an entire 5-man unit of the Space Marines easy. Like, they get, like, 1 lucky hit with the rocket launcher, because they always do, because it's boys. You know, you roll your blast, you get, like, you roll your blast, you get, like, the 1 extra. You roll D3 shots, you get, statistically, 2. You only get the 1 ever. So you got your 2 shots, you roll it, 1 actually goes through, 1 actually wounds. It's, like, AP -2, the Space Marine dies, and you're like, oh, the rocket launcher killed somebody! And then you charge all your boys, and they just beat the shit out of the Space Marines. And the Space Marines are like, by the chapter, we're doomed, and they get I don't know what Space Marines. They had probably some like litany of hate, or like, no, but I'm the main character and I get to live forever. They all die and they don't get to fight back. And right, so they lost the boys super hard. They lost the Tau actually pretty hard too. Turns out damage to weaponry kills Space Marines, right? And then their guns did nothing. So, Space Marines have been, like, in a weird place where 90% of their infantry is dudes with bolt guns, and then bolt guns just have not been good. And then, like, you go to upgrade into a combi gun, which have always been, like, okay in previous editions, from looking back at the rules-wise, of, like, I can give all my dudes melta guns. Like, they only get to shoot it the once, or if they do shoot it, they can shoot twice, and then blah, blah, blah. Depending on, like, which edition, you either got to shoot it only once, or you got to fire both, but then you'd have, like, a worse ballistic kill, or you could just shoot the melta gun at, like, a hit on 3. And, like, having a squad of, like, 5 dudes with melta guns, like, that's actually pretty half decent. Or, like, all flamers or something, and just dropping that and just dealing a ton of, like, flame wounds or whatever. I thought about doing that in, like, I was reading, like, 4th and 5th edition rules, but then, like, that seems, like, kind of toxic. It's like, I got, like, 10 Sterncard in this drop pod, and they're all equipped with, combi flamers, and, like, the pyro cannon, or whatever it was called. I think it was just a heavy flamer in previous editions. And now I'm going to use my templates, because I think, if you fire into a squad of infantry, you have to do a template, like, by template at time, you know? Like, if each one counts as a hit. And then you'd have to see this template has this template has that, and you'd have to make all your dice rolls. And I think at that point your opponent punches you in your nose and just leaves you to die on the side of the road. Which, like, yeah, if you're making them individually roll all that, that's kind of like a absolute massive dick move, but, like, it'd be pretty funny. So, like, you don't even have the outfit anymore of combi guns, so, like, combi guns just suck. Storm bolters are slightly better because it's 4 shots, but then they don't have the AP because bolt guns no longer have AP when they always had AP in previous editions. Just flat like the basic one, only the bolt rifle now has the AP. And the bolt rifle is exclusive to captains, lieutenants, the ancient for some reason. The company heroes have a couple scattered in there. And then intercessors and Sternguard are the only ones with bolt rifles. And you aren't taking Stern Guard because it's a ball rifle. You're taking Stern Guard because it's dev wounds, and you're going to spam wounds on 5s, lethals, or devastating on 6s, right? And you make all your rerolls, and you stack a ton of devs and a ton of -1 saves, and then I've killed Catan Shards with that combo. It's a fantastic combo. Catan Shards, I blew up a Dreadnought, I blew up Land Raider, I blew up another Catan Shard, I blew up a Monolith. It's a really fun combo, but it's a fun combo because it has dev wounds, and it's not a fun combo because bolt guns are good. But it's a really fun combo. So I've been ramping for like 25, 28 minutes. How would I fix bolt guns? Yeah, give them the rule of like it saves on 5, it just dies. Give like a special bolt. It'd be like in the corner, be like bolt, assault, heavy, right? And I don't know, maybe just condense all the bolt guns into one profile and just have it be a bolt gun and not an Oculus bolt carbine and a marksman bolt carbine. Because that's the other thing. Some of these bolt weapon variants have like really good special weapon rules. And some of these the marksman bolt carbine has like heavy and actually I think it's just heavy. It doesn't have assault, and like wow, that actually kind of sucks. And the incursors have assault and ignores cover, and ignores cover in this edition for most chaff units is pretty much AP because most of the boys, guard, Tau, whatever, that's anything not in power armor is using cover to get the +1 to their save bonus. So they're going from saving on 5s to saving on 4s. It just actually does math out to help. It helps. It absolutely does. Because now you're saving half yours into the 1/3, and math. Yay, math. So all of a sudden being like, you don't get your cover save. It changes stuff. It's the equivalent of AP, right? And then like the marksman bolt carbine sucks, and then you have the bolt carbines on the Reavers, and they have precision, but they're like AP nothing, so they don't do anything. You stack like a ton of like AP nothing saves onto a saves on 2 toughness 5 model, and it just does nothing. You can technically snipe out like crappy like regiment characters for like guard, and it's like, oh, I shot your commissar, nobody rings. But like you could like mess up a command squad with that, I guess. Yay. Like, or you take the bolt pistol, the special issue bolt pistol with -1 AP, and also still has precision, and it's like, why would I not choose that? And then you get the knives, and the knives are really good, because it turns out AP is a lot better in melee combat than it is in not melee combat, because typically cover eats up the first save on AP, and if you're playing a half-decent board, like I know some of you guys set up, and it's like, I got like 4 coffee mugs and a book. That's our terrain layout for 60 by 80 inches. And it's like, why are all my guys dying to shooting? And it's like, man, I don't know what to tell you there. Just buy a ton of pizzas, eat a ton of pizzas, use the cardboard, like frozen pizzas, use the cardboard from that, build a couple like ruins, spray paint it black, or spray paint it gray or whatever, and put like wash over it, and like it looks half decent, it looks good enough. Use more cover, Jesus Christ. But then yeah, your AP just sucks, and it's like, well, my AP -1's AP minus nothing for a lot of the time, unless I physically drop right in front of you, in which case I do get my AP -1. So the way they handle AP in this edition isn't great. You really need to start getting up to like AP -2. So honestly, like going back to like old edition AP might actually be better than the new AP system we have. But then again, I'm sure somebody will be like, but Joey, then you could like stack AP modifiers and just nuke Space Marines out of existence with las guns. Because there was always something stupid like that in every edition. It would be like, one weird trick turns the shooter into like a las cannon. And you're like, why is my unit of boys just nuking vehicles out of existence with their shooters? Because there was always something stupid like that in every edition. So, But like still, like there's got to be something better than... Because, like, we don't want the stupid cover saves from, like, this is light cover, I get up 6 up save. This is medium cover, I get a 5 up invulnerable save. This is a rune, I get a 4 up, It's... Like, then you're not even dealing with AP anymore, unless the weapon has ignores cover, which probably won't. So then that just adds in the problem of, like, bolt guns kind of suck, and I guess bolt guns always kind of sucked, so... Once again, I'm down on the rule of, like, if it has a 5-up save, it just dies. It doesn't get a save. Unless it has an invulnerable. And it doesn't get a cover save. It just dies. It just goes. You're shooting like Termagants. Like, why are they getting a save against the bolt gun? Like, and like, it's not going to affect the Eldar or the Sisters of Battle, or even, like, hell, even the Tau Fire Warriors. It's just killing the stuff that deserves to die. And it's like an Orc player, like, yeah, you shot my Orc with a bolt gun, he died. Okay, cool. Like, I'll move on, or I'll just run a Pain Boy and I still get the 5-up. You know, like, because like, there's still stuff to protect you from that, right? Like, I'm not crazy. We can have bolt guns kill stuff. Please? It's like the most common weapon profile across the whole game, and it doesn't kill anything. And I get why people want a less killy game, right? But that's like where multiple wounds come in. Or they're supposed to, and then everybody somehow manages to get a damage 2 weapon whenever I put my Space Marines on the board, and it's just like, oh, cool. Should have brought my Orcs. I should really bring my Orcs more. They're fantastic. Quick discussion on boys. The fact that they went down 5 points to 80 points was stupid, and we deserve to go back up to 5. And honestly, if that unit went up to 90, that'd still probably be fair. Because they're really good. Because damage spread out, like, you do the math on that. 5 plasma guns fire into a squad of Space Marines. 7 shots go through, then they're wounded on 2, so the rest go through. That just nukes a 5-man unit of Space Marines out of existence. You still get 3 boys left, and 3 boys can realistically do, like, a lot of damage, especially in the law. They can, I don't want to scream and wake everybody up and sound like a psychopath saying it out here, but, like, they go into the wall, they get +1 strength, they get all their, like, +1 attack. All of a sudden, that's still 12 attacks out of that unit. And then you put, like, a Pain Boy in there, and their plasma gun doesn't even kill them, because you're like, oh, I don't need to overcharge my plasma gun, they're only boys. So now it's only damage 1. Whereas, like, you look at the Space Marines, so, like, your knees will be damaged too, right? Because then your Pain Boy does a stupid thing, and you're like, boys. Right? So that's kind of the problem with Space Marines, is, like, all the other infantry is cheaper, everybody has damage 2 weapons, and then the bolt gun just sucks. And the combi guns need a total rework. Should we go back to previous editions? You know, like, every combi profile having a different thing is kind of not impossible to balance, but, like, also kind of like, you need to buy, like, a lot of boxes of dudes if you want a whole squad of Melta guns. The fact that they didn't just give you 5 combi Meltas in the Sternguard box, just give you 5 of each and just charge extra on the screws on that one, I would have been fine for that for future proofing. Because, dear God, if you want everybody with combi Meltas, you gotta buy, like, 2, 4, 6, 8, like 5 boxes of dudes to equip the whole squad with combi Meltas? Or you gotta kit bash them, but then you gotta, like, buy, like, a Devastator squad box to get all the Melta barrels and, like, do it that way. And that's, like, it's fun. I like doing that, but, like, dear God, for the average person who's like, I want them all have the combi Melta. So, like, just give them 2 profiles like the plasma gun. You got, like, a bolt gun profile, and then you get a, I don't know, like a weird mix between, like, the plasma and the Melta. It's like a strength 7, AP -3, damage 2, or something stupid. And it's like, well, that, or like strength, make it like strength, yeah, strength 7, AP -3, 3 damage 2. And it's like, it's a really weird weapon profile. And you only get the 1 shot, so all of a sudden your plasma gun gets 2 shots. But, like, you get to shoot it with your bolt gun. Right? Or, like, you have the versatility of having the eyeball gun kills infantry, and this kills the other thing. And somebody will say, well, what about the combi flamer? Well, I guess in this case, you could pretend that it's shooting super promethium or something, I guess. And, like, again, like, doubling up on, like, the anti-infantry killing is cool. It is really cool, but, like, also at the same time, the combi gun's kind of supposed to be the Swiss Army knife of, like, it does everything. And the Balkan already kills infantry, so doubling up on killing infantry, although cool, I think you could just take the hit and be like, yeah, it'd just be better to have 1 anti-infantry profile and 1, like, non-anti-infantry profile. And you could give, like, the combi gun, like, an extra shot, and it's like, oh, it's 3 bolt gun shots, because it's a combi gun, and that's awesome. And then you just give the Sternguard the special issue ammo back. Sternguard should just have their special issue ammo back for their bolt gun, or just make them, like, a really good bolt gun. Like, it doesn't get 3 shots, it gets 4 shots, and it's, like, AP -2, and it's damage 2, and it's awesome, and it has, like, precision. And it automatically wins you the game and gets you a girlfriend, and I'm like, they're like, get Joey off the rules right now, he's gonna ruin the game. and it brings back the Bottega Limon, and the Ultramarines won everything, and they remove me from the rules, and I never get to write them again. And Carlos Sicarius gets a new model, and everybody's already clicking off the video and leaving hate, and they're like, you goddamn Ultra Spur, how dare you ruin the game? By the way, yeah, we need to fix bolt guns, especially for Imperial Fists, who are like, we only use bolt guns. Oh no. Like, bro, Imperial Fists just be losing. Not as cool as the Black Templars, not as cool as the Crimson Fists. Yellow, I mean, like, man, bro, imagine being Crimson Fists. What a bunch. Oh, Crimson Fists are cool. Imagine being Imperial Fists. What a bunch of dorks. Alright, I'm going to end on that. Bye.